Most days here in the little town of Jefferson, the streets are full of the sweet sound of silence. The birds chirp with hushed tones as the wind sings softly. But on the corner of Henderson and Polk Street sits the bustling home of a museum unconstrained by this stillness, a museum full of the chaotic chiming of clocks.
What does it sound like in here?
You know, I really can't conceive a way to describe the sound.
How do you hear yourself think?
Well, if you live with these clocks for 50 years, they're kind of like wives. You hear what you want to hear.
What started in 1960 as a personal collection eventually became a Jefferson gem. 50 years and 550 clocks later, the Museum of Measurement and Time opened its doors and has curated a fan base of locals and tourists alike. But to land surveyor turned timekeeper Johnny Ingram, this hub of clocks and measurement tools is simply his home away from home.
What blows my mind is you look around and how much you have acquired.
Yeah.
I mean, this was in your house.
It amazes me because I look back and a lot of people come through and say, how in the world did you collect all this? And my first response is, you got to grow gray hair first.
Well, they say in order to understand where you're going, you first have to know where you came from. And within the walls of the museum lives the important message of holding on to history. Because whether your interests lay in salt and pepper shakers or protractors, everything has a story worth telling.
I would recommend that everybody start a collection. If you're a grandfather or a grandmother and your granddaughter is sitting down talking to you, if you can get out a salt and pepper shaker and use that to talk and tell her, it builds a connection between the old and the new that can be continued.
Over the years, as pocket watches turned into smartphones, the tools of time have slowly become relics of history, forgotten by most. But among the cuckoo clocks and calculators in the Museum of Measurement and Time resides the timeless story of our past, something Johnny wants everyone to remember.
It's good for people to understand the forefathers, what they did and what they had to achieve and what they accomplished is the roots of where we come from. But people need to remember the past, what our forefathers could do and what they did. And this is a good example of it. I hope it's always here. I hope it never goes away.
Looking for more stories like this one? Just hit the subscribe button for more great stories about Texas and Texans.